Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do Legends of the DC Universe issue number 1. This is a three-parter, one of three. And this is a running series with different superheroes. It has also Green Lantern, the Atom, and other heroes as well. But we're going to concentrate, if that's the word, take a look at the first 3 issues because it's a three-parter and it's perfect for my channel. I just read it a moment ago, and I think, I can share what I think about it. So let's dive in. We see Lois Lane here talk about, the rise of villains and superheroes from, the 40s to now, and we see here Captain Comet, Green Lantern. Is this the Blue Scarab, I guess? And a couple other superheroes, like old school Starman, Doom Patrol, the probably the first iteration of the group. And then she talks about, Superman, of course, battling none other than Professor Kilgrave and this awesome looking contraption attacking Metropolis. Superman looks great, bold, beautiful colors, like the deep red and the deep blues. Hand-drawn backgrounds, really nice, unlike modern comics. In every video, somehow I need to have that, a little bit dig on the modern comic stuff, right? Try to ignore that. It's just a running gag. Written by James Robinson and Val Semeiks. Pencil is still around. I wonder what he's doing, actually. I believe he did some crowdfunding stuff a couple of years ago. I'm not sure what he's doing now. But, I wish he would go back to penciling. So, Professor Kilgrave, minor character, he's just mad scientist. And he thinks that Superman is arrogant. And he thinks, did you think I wouldn't use each of my prior defeats by you to analyze your powers and fighting techniques? Did you think I wouldn't build a device better than the last? So he's boasting, and Superman says, nice Kirby plots, by the way. He says, ads, no, not a chance. So Superman, of course, saves the day, but then there's a voice, and he says, Superman, we'll take it from here. Now, who are these guys? These are LexCorp City Security. And he says, stand down. We have the situation under control. Superman says, control as in, I do everything and you guys turn up at the last minute? Yeah, I guess you do have it under control. It doesn't matter who did what. We are the law in the city. So Superman said, well, isn't that the police? Look, Mr. Luthor pays for these city's cops. He pays for us too. Me, I see the lines beginning to blur. But before Superman can respond to that, Professor Kilgrave is using his, power that he still has to escape and live to fight another day. So Superman says, okay, Lex, man, I like that. You got the thrust in those suits to catch him. Well, no answer. Didn't think so. All right. And then we go to, actually, Lex Luthor in the Lex Tower, I guess. And this woman is watching the TV, and they talk about Lex Luthor, and Lex says, hey, will you turn it off? And this news reporter talks about Dolores Winter spending a lot of time with, I believe, Lex, and so Lex was fed up that she didn't listen. And she said, now, Lexi, that wasn't nice. And he changed tune. And he says, I'm sorry. Now, that is new. Normally, you wouldn't see Lex Luthor apologizing, so that means that he is probably very fond of this young woman, right? And he's a little bit stressed out about the success that Superman had today, right? He says, it made you unhappy. I understand. How about you dismiss your hired apes and let me bring a smile back to your face? Well, he says, I need to conduct business first. Why don't you go out onto the veranda? I'll be with you soon. Ads. And then his smile turns into a frown again. And so they're building a new Lex Tower, I guess. And she says, well, if you are completed by the end of the year, you will be rewarded. If not, something else will happen, right? And then another guy comes in and he says, hey, we have news of Morgan Wild, the scientist. Yeah, his research into identifying the electrical field with all living things. So he says he's within a month of publishing his findings. Now, while he said that, I immediately thought to myself, wait a minute, in the Byrne era, John Byrne era, when Superman was rebooted, wasn't that revealed that Superman had some kind of a bioelectric field around him, enable him to fly? And wasn't always also something about his invulnerability that had something to do with it? I mean, I'm not entirely sure anymore. I mean, it's been years since I've read those comics. Maybe you can like me in the comments below and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you like what you are seeing. Everyday new content. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. By identifying the electrical field, he's able to isolate it in different parts of the body. She says, and he also can alter the frequency, like a radio, says Lex Luthor. Apparently, there's a flow to it, sir, like DC electricity, altering its frequency. So he says a cure for Parkinson's disease and other such neural maladies. He says this isn't a cure for cancer, or AIDS, but it still could be worth a fortune. So Lex pondering, and he says, this wild fellow, buy him. And then we go to, Wild himself, right? And Lois Lane is here interviewing that guy. And she says, so you're telling me about the human body's electrical field. It's more like I have an energy field than pure electricity. You said it could be a human soul. If I wasn't a scientist, if I believed in God, I might say that. If I was more New Age, I might refer it as the body's ectoplasmic mass. However, I think energy field will suffice. And but then his wife comes in and he says, hey, you have visitors. So she says, excuse me, Miss Lane. So Alexis Goons comes here, wants to buy him. And he says, well, I said on the phone I wasn't interested in that. So please go away, right? And he says, how about because Mr. Luthor wants you to? That's a reason? What Mr. Luthor wants, he gets. Everybody knows that. How long have you lived in Metropolis? Well, Lex Luthor doesn't get me, not this time. So this guy's really disappointed, right? And, his face says it all. And he probably knows something. So, and then he apologizes to Lois and said, hey, I'm sorry, Lois, but the meeting I just had has unsettled me. I'd rather continue this interview another time. And so she asked, who do you speak to? Well, he says, representatives of Lex Luthor. They want to buy me, my work. I refused, of course. Really, I'd rather not discuss it further. But still, until we meet again, accept this. It's my wife and I at a happier time and place. Take it, please, just in case. In case of what, Professor? We talk tomorrow. Now, I immediately... something will go wrong. Now, I find it particularly strange that he gives her a photo of them together and give it to Lois Lane. There might something to it, to this particular photo. Who knows? Meanwhile, Superman is dealing with crazies because, Lois was a little bit disappointed that Superman would show up because she had an interview with him. But she also realizes that he's needed somewhere else. So this new villain calls himself Madness, and he has the power to cause madness. I like this a lot. So Lexman are here. I'm calling them Lexman. And he says, no, go back. But it's already too late because everybody has gone crazy and shooting. And the cop says, rid crime of streets, no offenders, no crime, kill everybody. Now, I like this particular scene here. I also love that the colors are very deliberately muted so that they look crazy and maybe like zombie-like, right? And Superman, with the bright colors, pops real on the page. And Superman does what Superman does, saving everybody's life. And he is also preventing more harm, or, these people harming themselves probably by doing this. And then everybody's getting back to their senses. And he says, it seems the effect of Madness's powers are fleeting, Well, like always, it's the after effects that last. So yeah, people feel really ashamed and confused, right? Meanwhile, later, an hour later it would be dark, and with the shadows came a different kind of insanity in a different part of the city. So he said, "What do you think you're doing?" says these guys. "You monsters killed my wife, Barbara. Tried to kill me. For what? My science work? I never give it to you. Never. Why this place for auto-destruction? What? What are you doing? Self-destruction? Crazy. We'll all die." And then, "Oh, you will certainly, but me." And then the whole thing explodes and looks fantastic. And that leads us to issue number 2. And also 2 or 3. That we're going to gonna review. And what is this kind of creature in this cylinder? I wonder. All right, guys, let me know what you think about this. I think this is fun. You know, it's just, classic Superman stories or legends of the DC universe. We're going to find out more in the coming weeks. So stay tuned. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.